I'm sad. I wanted to wear my Justice League shirt, but I couldn't find it. But hey, this is the next best thing. Plus, it kind of fits with the video, so. Hi, my name is Mr. J3T, aka Big Sexy, aka the Kentucky Cannon, aka Chocolate Thunder with a caramel swirl, aka Black Lightning with a peanut butter filling, aka the Man of the Century, aka Big Daddy Long, aka what else? Man of the Century, Kentucky Cannon. I know I'm missing it. The Mad Dog, the Demigod. I know there's more. Dang. The franchise. I forgot. The franchise. Yeah. Wow, I'm really getting too many. It's getting too hard for me to catch up. I've had so many nicknames now. Dang. I can't remember them all. But I think I got the majority of them. So, at least the main ones that I like. So let's add a new one today. What new AKA could I go by? What new nickname? DJ Big Head. Yeah, because if you guys didn't know, I'm a DJ now. Because my uncle is a DJ, and one time I helped him set up his DJ equipment for a party. So that makes me a DJ by association. And today we are going to be talking about Justice League Dark, Apokolips War. So this is an animated movie, and it takes place in the DCAMU, the DC Animated Movie Universe, which started I believe in 2015, 2013. I think it was 2015. It started in like the mid 2010s. It started around that time. So this movie is about oh yeah, by the way, this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't watched it, or if you want to watch it, don't watch this video, because I'm going to spoil the hell out of this. So it starts off, the movie is basically about the Darkseid, who is the big bad, he's coming to Earth. And Superman gathers up everybody. He gathers the Justice League Dark, the Teen Titans, even Lex Luthor is there. He maybe even gathered some villains, I don't know. So Superman talks to everybody, and he's just like, look, Darkseid's coming. We gotta hit him. We gotta hit him first. I don't want him to come to Earth, so let's go to Apokolips, which is Darkseid's little planet. Let's go to Apokolips and attack him on his home turf. So Flash and John Constantine, who is a magic user, they object, but Superman's like, no. We gotta go now. We gotta take this dude out now. We do. This cannot wait. So, but little did they know that Darkseid was watching that whole conversation through Cyborg, because Cyborg's body is made out of apocalyptian tech. So Darkseid knows that they're coming, and he's ready. So once they all go to Apokolips, they proceed to get their asses kicked into next week. So the way they did that is because the way Darkseid did that is he has these parademons, right? Which are basically, think of like the putties from Power Rangers. They're basically that. They're basically overpowered versions of the putty from Power Rangers. So the parademons are combined with Doomsday, the guy that killed Superman. And Darkseid took Doomsday's DNA and the parademons and mashed them together to make Paradooms. So Darkseid just unleashes a horde of Paradooms onto the Justice League, And like I said, they get their asses kicked in the next week. Or to be more precise, they get their asses kicked into 2 years later. So they don't just lose. Like they take a huge L. Like a huge L. Some of them even die. And when I say die, I don't mean like a quick little neck snap and we don't see the death on screen. No. Because this movie's rated R. And we see everything. They take full advantage of that rated R, of that R rating. Because we see everything. Like Martian Manhunter is getting burned alive, which that's not really that shocking. Like, it seems like Martian Manhunter gets set on fire every time we see him in these movies. It's not that shocking, but the rest is shocking because Aquaman gets laser beamed in half. His wife, Mira, gets a Paradoom stabs her face and starts to pull it apart. Shazam, who mind you was just a kid, gets his leg ripped off. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, Hawkman gets his wings ripped apart. And yeah, this is just very, very, very brutal movie. And keep in mind, these aren't just D or C list characters. These are A-listers. These are A-list characters. This is the Justice League getting killed off, brutally killed off. But, so Darkseid kills most of the Justice League, but he leaves Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman alive because he has plans for Wonder Woman and Batman, but, and Superman. So 2 years goes by, right? The world, Darkseid's pretty much fully taken over the world, and most of the heroes are dead. Most of the heroes and villains are dead. And the remaining superheroes, they have to, lick their wounds and just be like, I don't really know what to do next. We don't really know what to do next because we lost pretty hard before, but we don't want to live in this hellhole anymore. So we got to do something. And that's basically the gist. So first off, the animation. The animation is really good. There were some times where I did see little clips, little lags, but they're very minor. Most of the time, the animation is great. In fact, not most of the time, all of the time, the animation is great. The animators really went in on the gore, because I'm not lying when I say this movie is gory as hell. Like, this movie is basically like a rated R, the DC rated R version of Avengers Endgame, which this movie makes Avengers Endgame look like Doc McStuffins. Let me just list off some of the brutal deaths. As I was talking about, most of the Justice League got killed off brutally, as I was talking about before. But yeah, Starfire, when we see her, she is split in half on the ground with her entrails, with her guts all on the ground. Black Manta, we see him get pulled apart by one of the Paradooms. Satana, Bane, and Batgirl get swarmed by Paradooms and just eaten alive. Torn apart, eaten alive. I don't know if they get torn apart or if they're eating them. They're probably eating them. Yeah, they're eating them. So, Batgirl especially was brutal because if you didn't know, Batgirl's a regular human. She is a regular, normal human going up against parademons. And when she gets swarmed, you can actually see her arm fly off. So yeah, this is. Oh yeah, I I saved the two most tragic ones for last. So Robin, who was also a regular human, tries to take out one of the Paradooms, right? But he gets thrown off. The Paradoom's about to swipe at Robin, trying to kill him, but Nightwing comes in and saves Robin. The Paradoom knocks Nightwing off of him, and then he stabs Nightwing to death right in front of Robin's face. And Robin, later on in the movie, as gets laser beamed to death. The worst part was that he didn't die instantly. He's severely burned, and he dies slowly in Batman's arms. Kids, this is not a kids movie. Kiddos, stay away. This will stay away. I've always said that I was a Marvel fan over more than a DC fan. I've always liked Marvel more than I liked DC. I still read DC. I still read a few comic books, but I never really got into them that much. But after watching this movie, I never really realized how much that I cared about these characters until I saw all of them die. It really makes you realize how much you care about all these characters. This movie is sad, man. This movie is just so sad. It's very depressing. It leaves you feeling defeated because the heroes are defeated. But they do come back. They have to lick their wounds and try again and try and stop all this. So there's still a little hope. But this movie isn't just doom and gloom. There are some funny moments peppered in with John Constantine. He's paired up with Etrigan the Demon, who's like this weird demon creature. And Constantine's just like, yeah, a friend of his died. So depressed that he doesn't even rhyme now. Which, if you know Etrigan the Demon, he rhymes a lot. Every word he says is a rhyme, but after everything happened, he stopped rhyming, and he's so depressed. And whenever they get in a fight, he's just dragging his feet, like barely even trying to, because it's not a challenge. He doesn't see anything as a challenge. He's too OP, he's too strong, he's too swole. So he's just knocking everybody aside, just, man, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else, kind of like, whatever. He literally just says whatever after throwing a guy. So, yeah, Etrigan was fun, and so is John Constantine. Like, if you're a John Constantine fan, this movie is the movie for you, because he gets a lot of spotlight. The movie kind of centers around him, actually. Yeah, if you're a John Constantine fan, you are really gonna love this movie. This is your movie, and this movie is also his movie. Yeah, this is his movie. So you really get to see his power set and realize how much of a powerful character he is. So I've never really been much of a John Constantine fan, but after watching this movie, I'm interested in learning more about him. So I may look up more about him. So yeah. Also, there aren't just funny moments. There's also hope in here too. Because in one scene in particular that I want to talk about, Superman, Darkseid laced Superman with a liquefied kryptonite that's in his blood, and it's basically like preventing Superman from using his powers. So he's powerless. And Raven, after watching all of her teammates die, and after Robin left, she's just done. She takes a spike and she's about to kill herself, but Superman stops her and then just hugs her, and embraces her. That scene right there is why I will always be a Superman fan. Because no matter all the stuff Superman's been through, after being powerless, after pretty much causing all of this because of his sloppy planning skills, he's still there to help a person in need. That's why I will always be a Superman fan. That was a great, great Superman moment. Yeah, so I really loved that scene. That scene was really beautiful and just tragic. It was tragic and beautiful, if that makes any sense. So, anyway, enough of that stuff. Let's get to more gore. So, and Harley's also a riot too. You know, Harley's in this movie. So, she's the leader of the Suicide Squad. So the remaining superheroes and plus the Suicide Squad are going to plan this huge attack on Darkseid. Okay, so they go to Apokolips, and this is where we find out that Batman actually got brainwashed into basically being Darkseid's right-hand man, and Wonder Woman became the leader of the new Furies. And the Furies are made up of dead members of the Justice League. They're cyborg versions of the Furies. So they fight them off. And John Constantine, again, this is his movie, he manages to free Wonder Woman. And so she takes on the Furies while they go off to go face Darkseid, right? So, when they get there, they find the Flash, who's been running for 2 years straight to power up the planet, right? So, he's been running for 2 years, and he's scrawny and everything. One thing I don't get, though, is, like, this man's been running for 2 years, and he has a little 5 o'clock shadow. Like, what? Shouldn't he have like a huge bushy beard? It's been 2 years, and all he's been doing is running. Shouldn't he have like this big bushy beard instead of a 5 o'clock shadow? But that's a minor little nitpick. And Flash is going to be important later. So, they try and like find a way to stop Darkseid when Darkseid comes, and Raven, and like I said, Darkseid's the one who burns Robin alive, and this causes Raven to release Trigon. And if you don't know, Trigon's the big bad of the Teen Titans. So Trigon possesses Superman, instantly kills off John Constantine, because I guess they have some beef. I don't know about that. And Trigon and Superman possessed Trigon, whatever, Super Trigon. Yeah, that's what I'll call him, Super Trigon. He proceeds to fight Darkseid, and yeah, don't worry though, because Raven just cries a little tear onto Robin, and now he's back. That was a cute moment. They have a thing. Yeah, they have a thing, so they're basically dating. I say it like it's nonchalant, but it's been building up for the films ever since, I believe, Justice League versus Teen Titans. So their relationship has been building up. So, and this is like the climax. And John Constantine goes to heaven, and John Constantine's whole thing is that he ran away when his girlfriend Satana was getting killed by the Paradooms. So the reason he ran away is because Satana cast a spell on him to make him run away, and that's all because of Batman, who, as always, had a contingency plan just in case things went sideways, and told Satana to cast a spell on John Constantine to make him leave. So, because of course, Batman has a plan B. He has a plan B for his plan B. So, Satana brings John Constantine back to life, and sadly, while Super Trigon and Doomsday are still fighting, Lois Lane, who's back on Earth, is defending like the portal to not let the Paradooms come inside, to not let the Paradooms get the Apokolips, to stop everything, right? So, yeah, so Lois Lane, her videos, her outs, and she's talking to Super Trigon, and she's like, look, I'm dead. I'm gonna die, basically. This place is about to blow up. I love you. Boom! It blows up, and Lois Lane is dead. So, this causes Superman to break out of his possession, and now regular Super... And, by the way, I guess since the fire and everything, it burned off the kryptonite, so Superman has his powers back. Weirdly enough, he has his powers back, and he has his costume on, and he doesn't have the beard anymore because he had a beard at the beginning. But after he basically willed himself off of out of being possessed, he just doesn't have the beard anymore, and he has his costume back, which is another small little nitpick, but whatever. He has his powers back, and now Superman and Doomsday start to fight. So Cyborg, who is in a wall, basically like being Darkseid's little living computer, basically. He devises a plan to send Darkseid and all of the Paradooms to nowhere. To absolutely nowhere, where they'll be trapped, where Darkseid will be trapped with his monsters. And so they decide to release Trigon, and and so he can fight, so Trigon can fight Darkseid, and yeah, once they do, they start to fight, which is an epic fight, by the way, and they go back to Earth. Cyborg stays because he's in the wall. He can't move. So the planet of Apokolips basically blows up. And yeah, so that's the end of Darkseid. But after that, the world is pretty much, pardon my language, the world is fucked. like 30, I think Batman said like 30% of oh wait, by the way, I forgot to mention this. Batman managed to will himself out of Darkseid's mind control, because of course he does. He's Batman. Of course he did. So, Batman says like 31% of the Earth's magma is gone. So, humanity's screwed, basically. But Superman, being that big hopeful Boy Scout that he is, he's like, we can still save the Earth if we just, if we all just work together. And everybody just looks at him like, seriously, dude? Stop sugarcoating it. We're all screwed. All of them just look at him just like, really, man? Now's not the time for this Boy Scout crap. We're dead. We're screwed. That was a funny moment. And John Constantine just walks up to Flash, and it's just like, you know what you have to do, right? Which of you don't know, Flash, there's an event called Flashpoint Paradox, where Flash goes back in time to save his mom, but in doing so, basically messed up the timeline. Then he had to go back to stop himself from saving his mom, and after he did that, everything changed. The whole timeline changed, and it's basically a huge reset. John Constantine's basically saying, look, do another Flashpoint, reset this entire thing. Please do it. With Run, Barry, run. Flash is like, yeah, no, I don't want to do it. But then John Constantine's like, pretty please. Then Flash is like, okay. I'm lying. That's not what happens. Flash is like, no, I can't do it. I promised Iris that I wouldn't do it. John Constantine, and Flash is just like, everything would change again. Everything would be different again. But then John Constantine just says what's on everybody's minds, and it's like, look, anything will be better than this, okay? So, John, he kind of had to sweet talk Flash into doing it. But he eventually does, and Flash runs off and restarts the timeline again. And there's a huge bright light, and everybody's just looking at the light, just knowing what's about to happen. Everything's about to reset again. And before it happens, though, Robin and Raven, who has a thing, remember, they look at each other and they kiss for the first time, which was a cute moment. And then the white light consumes all of them, and the timeline is reset. And that's basically the whole movie. Those are like the key points. The key points. So overall, this movie was really good and really depressing. Like, again, I never realized how much I cared about these characters until I saw all of them die. When I first watched this movie, part of me just felt defeated. Like, I just watched all of my favorite superheroes die. That was sad. I haven't felt like that since I watched Endgame. Jesus. Oh, that was just sad to watch. Keep the kiddos away from this movie, because this movie is rated R, and especially if the kiddos likes a particular superhero that's in there, they're probably dead. The kiddo's probably gonna see their favorite superhero die, and that's probably gonna mess them up. So, yeah, keep the kiddos away. Surprisingly, though, from what I could hear, even though it's a rated R movie, and even though this movie has a lot of blood and a lot of gore in it, I believe there are only 3 F-bombs in this movie. The first one coming from Raven, which fits her character, and the other 2 coming from Captain Boomerang, which also fits his character. So, yeah, that was interesting. Only 3 F-bombs are in this movie. I was expecting more, especially from John Constantine. I mean, he says shite. That's all he says. But, yeah, he doesn't really say go full, F this. He doesn't do all that. So, it was surprising. But, yeah, so all the performances are good. Superman's voice actor in particular, I think he did a great job. And Damian's voice actor and Raven's voice actress, they did a great job. They have some really good chemistry because their relationship has been building up through the past movies. And they're great. This is John Constantine's movie. This movie really shines a light onto John Constantine, showing what he can do, showing off his character, showing off his personality, showing off what he's like. This movie really puts a spotlight on John Constantine. So again, if you're a John Constantine fan, this is your movie. You're gonna love this movie. He gets a lot of time to shine in this movie. So all the performances are good. And a few nitpicks, like I said, Flash, he's been running for 2 years. He doesn't have a big bushy beard. All he has is some 5 o'clock shadow, which, yeah, that's a little nitpick. Also, when we see him again, he's all skinny, right? But later on at the end of the movie, he's buff again. He's swole again. So I don't know how that happened, but I digress. Still a good movie to watch. If you haven't watched it, you can buy it on Amazon Prime. and I believe you can also buy it on YouTube Movies. So if you want to watch it yourself, Amazon Prime and YouTube Movies, you can buy that. Or you can do what I did and go on a website called kisscartoon.com and watch the movie for free, because that's what I did. So yes, this movie is really good and really depressing. And like I said, the whole timeline got restarted again. So Rebirth? If you don't know what Rebirth is something in the comics where it basically resets the DC universe again. So Rebirth? Are we getting Rebirth DC AMU edition? Because I'd be there for that. I'd be there for that. Yeah, this movie's good. I highly recommend it. I give it 2 thumbs up and a J3T stamp of approval. So yes, please go watch it. Actually, if you want to. I'm not trying to force you guys to do anything. Keep it away from the kiddos. Keep it away from the kiddos. Those kiddos don't need to see their favorite superheroes dying. Yeah, they don't need to be seeing that. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you really like me, consider subscribing. Oh yeah, and also ring that little bell. The little bell that's next to the subscribe button. So you always be notified of when I post. Deuces.